understand that you are the baby of 8 siblings. So can you tell us how was it growing up, being a baby of 8 siblings?
Uh, you know, well, being a baby. First of all, thank you for having me. Thank you to your followers and your listeners for tuning in and everything. But I say it was different. Being a baby, I was sheltered a little bit. Everybody still to this day kind of checks on me, figure out what I'm doing, what I got going on, and as a baby, sometimes you feel like the main character. So I mean, I kind of enjoyed it. It was good. I had a good childhood, no complaints.
That's good. Were you the one that tried to hang out with your older siblings all the time, going places where they were going?
Yeah, yeah, that, and I kind of got an old soul because of it. I mean, all my friends over. I'm always the baby of all my cousins. I'm always the baby of all my friends. I'm still the youngest. So yeah, like hanging out with my older siblings. That's always been a part of my life. Yeah.
That's good. So you ready to get started with your background? So I understand that you're a producer, a director, and also a writer. So can you tell me a little bit about how you got started?
Uh, since I was young, I always had like this. I always had this writer spirit. Every since I was just, I say maybe 5 or 6, I always wrote poetry. I always wrote stories. You can date back when I was in school. My when the teacher told us to kind of you know make your little draw make a story about something. Always kind of excelled and did way more than what she asked for. So usually it just was my thing just to write.
Okay, so when it comes to poetry, so what's the background of poetry? Is free flow or how does it come?
I don't know. I always used to love to rhyme. I rhyme. I always went. I just like every other black man. I went through that rapper stage. But but rhyming and just putting words together is it's just a kind of a release, just a way of communicating thoughts, and just a stress reliever, really.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, so being a producer, what is the most important part?
The most important quality, probably patience. Having a lot of patience, of course, creativity. You got to be creative to be able to put scenes together or whatever you're producing to be able to make things work. That's where the patience come in. Sometimes things might not go as planned, and then being able to improvise. So, yeah,
Okay.
those those would be the biggest three, in my opinion.
So when you wrote your From Another Mother, so how did you go about picking the cast for that movie?
Well, we had auditions. We had two auditions. The first one was more so just an open call, just promoted it on Facebook, on Instagram community pages and stuff like that, trying to get people to know that we were shooting a movie in the community. But after that, I had another closed audition just for people who missed it and people that I really wanted to give a chance. And then some people were handpicked. Some people I knew exactly how they were in real life, and I just wanted them to be themselves. So that was easy.
Okay, so they were a natural with it.
Exactly.
Okay, that's good. So how did you come about thinking From Another Mother?
I kind of wrote it. I took real life instances, real life situations, and a little bit of fake, a little bit of fiction, kind of blended it all together, and kind of just went with it. The story goes is two teenage boys, both come up from impoverished homes, and both had a kind of rough spill of life, and that happens every day in America, even in my little small town where I'm from. Like, so that was just a way of expressing how things are. Sometimes people are forced to do things they don't want to do or they're not comfortable with. Not using that as a crutch or a scapegoat, saying it's okay, but sometimes people are born in certain lives. So
In your opinion, what makes a great story, and what made this a great story for you?
once again, just the bridge of nonfiction and fiction, just pulling it together, like being able to take real life situations and putting it to script, putting it into film, and then putting it into the world. So just the balance between truth and false.
And on the day of your premiere, because I understand yeah, big event going on. So how emotions?
Well, that probably it felt kind of like Christmas morning to a 5 year old. Honestly, I wasn't overwhelmed, but I was kind of, it was a busy day because it kind of did everything from the promotion to the guest list to setting up the building. I had help. I did have help. I had a few people that really played a big part in it. But that whole thing just pretty much all up here. And but that morning, I remember waking up. The first thing I did when I opened my eyes, I usually thank God, and right after that, I just smiled. So I was just happy because I knew it was going to be that day. And we did have a good day. We had 100 people to show up, about 100 people, and
Good.
coming from a small one stop like town, I thought that was a good feeling for me personally.
Right. Yeah, that's great. You did a lot of picture taking and signing autographs and everything.
Definitely. So we put a lot of this on my Instagram and also my Facebook. We did have a lot of people to show up. Took up some people showed up and they showed out as far as the dress code, how people look. People look real nice. We had backdrops with pictures and everything. So yeah.
That's good. And how did you come up with a name and Eddie? What is it? Eddie Nelson Film Company. Where did the name originate from?
Well, my first name is Eddie. My middle name is Nelson. So of course Eddie Nelson is my namesake for the company. Last name is Powell. So I wanted to be remembered by me in the company. So when you think of the company, you think of me, you think of my family, Eddie Nelson Powell. So yeah.
Okay. And if someone is getting ready to do their film, their like, what information advice can you give as far as like that nature?
Uh, just to kind of trust yourself. I mean, at least trust yourself first. Do take advice from people, but go with what you feel. And it's okay to be wrong. It's all right to be wrong. I was wrong a lot. It took me a few times to get things right. I was even challenged on the set by some of the actors and actresses, and we went with some things that they said was right because that they felt was right, and it just making sure that you get advice and use the sound advice. I mean, so that was it.
Okay, so with the script writing and everything, did the actors and actresses did they do it word for word, or did you allow them to change it up a little bit to what they could remember?
A lot of it was improvised. I gave them the gist. Don't get me wrong, I wrote the script, and a lot of it was just me going over at the table read. We would go over it, and some of them were changing it into their own words in the table read, and then some of them kept it 100% the way I wrote it because I wrote it around their character. Like, for instance, one main character was a couple main characters. They contrast as far as what I'm saying, as far as what was done there. Like Uncle G, he kind of went word for what I said because I wrote that around his voice, around him, words that he would use. He's my cousin. His name is Ellis Boone, and he's my cousin, and he had a big part in the movie as one of the main characters. And he kind of went word for word with what I wrote because I literally wrote the character off of his style, off of how he presented himself, not more so his life, but just how he spoke. And then I have another character, which was Winston. He was the Jamaican guy in the character in the movie, and his character, he kind of took it and would read what I said, what I wrote, and he put it in his own words just about every time.
Oh, I think that's great. So I know you made it into a film, and I know a film is very big. But being that you script write and everything, have you ever thought about with social media being what it is today, doing scripts on social media? I think Country Wayne did it. Have you ever thought about doing that?
Yeah, so that's my next move. That's actually what I'm working on now. Really, you're the first person that I told publicly about it. Yeah, after 2022, I kind of got in a writing spell where I just sat at home. I wrote, I didn't post. I hadn't been posting. That actually my first time on social media since, as far as posting, since 2023 sometime. But I'm working on a piece right now. I'd rather keep the name kind
Right.
of private right now. I don't want to call it out right now because we are. I am going to do a big promotion run on it, but yeah, social media, movies. That's my next step right there. So people are shooting whole movies from iPhones now. So
I know I'm actually doing one from her
yeah,
phone. Yeah, she's doing good. Thank you for sharing that information. And I didn't mean to. I know that was like.
that's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
So we're gonna shift gears a little bit, okay?
All right, cool.
So, with success in area of your life, how important is it to have a supportive mate in your life?
Well, that's kind of a tough question because I I feel like it's a double edged sword because I work better when I'm by myself, really. Or in the past, I should say, I've worked better whenever I didn't have anyone because I focused, and I don't mean that in a negative way, saying that without a mate or with a mate, either way how it goes. But I don't think it really would change things much because the focus. Yeah, it's always nice to have somebody, but with the focus, I think I did a great job when I was single. So with it, so.
I can relate to you on that. It's like when you're single, like you said, you get more focus time on your work and what you're doing, but whenever you're dating, you actually have time up. And you have some people that actually get jealous of your craft too and what you're doing.
Yeah, that could be a possibility.
Uh huh. And if you could put out any rumor about yourself by Eddie Nelson, what would it be? Any positive rumor,
You said if I could put out any positive rumor about myself,
what would it be? And
that I
why?
was the most holy person ever. Like no, just like I mean, that's kind of a tough question. I would say like maybe a comedic genius. Like I don't know. I always like comedy. I always wanted to be a comedian, but just just been maybe a rumor that I help people or something like that.
Okay, that's nice. And if you could quote anything, what would be your favorite quote to live by?
My favorite quote. Well, I have a tattoo of Proverbs 11:2, and it says, "With pride comes disgrace. With humility comes wisdom." So pretty much, if you're humble, it'll make you wise. You know what I mean? If too much pride, you be disgraceful. So yeah, that would be one of my favorites.
Okay, that's nice. So you're a man of God and you know the word, so that's a good thing.
I ain't gonna say I'm a man of God, but I ain't gonna say I know the whole word. I mean, I'm not perfect.
Got that one, so that's all that matters. Okay,
Right.
I see you here, dapper and everything. You have on your blades, you look nice. So when it comes to fashion and with making a fashion statement, what do you like to say? What do you want your appearance to say when you walk into a room full of people?
Whenever I walk in a room, well, I get this from my father, man. My father's always been clean, so any male in my family, just about, we always put it on. It's just and looking good, smelling good. Those two major components. It's easier to work that room that you're walking into.
Hmm.
People tend to look at you. People tend to respond better when you look better and smell nice. So I learned that at an early age. I went through my whole baggy clothes. I'm 40 years old, so I went through the baggy clothes stage. I went through the bright, shiny, glittery shirt stage. I went through that whole stage. Now I'm just a little more reserved. I still like to turn a head when I walk in, but yeah. But like I said, working that room that you walk into requires looking nice and smelling nice.
Do you think it's easier to walk in a room full of people you know or that you don't know?
Definitely people that I do know. It's easier. I mean, people I do know. I mean, I have no problem walking in people room with people I don't know, but I try to keep. I try to be nice and be a good, genuine person to everybody. So I don't usually have a problem. Of course, you can't control when people don't like you just for any reason, but if it was people that I know, I say at least 95% of those people would would like to see me walk in that room. And people that don't know me, I mean, they wouldn't have a problem with me because I wouldn't convey any type of attitude towards them. So
What advice can you give another man who lacks self confidence?
that's a great question. Um, just breathe first of all, and talk to yourself. I mean that wholeheartedly. Like I don't mean the nervous. Okay, I'm gonna be fine when I walk in here. Don't do this. I mean just know that you are. I mean, some people get up in the morning and they have pep talks in the mirror. I'm not one of those people. But I am one of those people who get up and I try to seize the day. I try to keep my head high, but that comes from how I was raised. Like I said, I was babied for 18 years of my life, and then a little bit after that through college. But I know how important it is as black men to have that confidence. But we're confident as people anyway. As black people, we're confident. There's always that one. I mean, when you walk in somewhere and people, we're gonna keep our head up. I mean, it helps that I'm 6'3" too. I mean, I'm not a small guy, so I mean, confidence. It's not hard. It's not hard for me to be confident. I was raised that way.
That's awesome. Okay. So if you could go anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
If I could go anywhere, probably Africa. Uh, Definitely see the pyramids. I want to see different places that civilization, the cradle of civilization. I want to go to Nile River. Like I don't mind going to the Colosseum, to see Rome. I want to see ancient Greece. I'm a history buff, so stuff like that it intrigues me.
Okay, that's good. So you say history. You like history.
I do. I do.
Okay, that's good. At an early age, you started at an early age, like in high school, you were the first.
I didn't realize how much I liked it at an early age. But just the whole chivalry movies, the knights in shining armor movies. I liked a lot of those growing up, and I didn't know why I like to read stuff like that growing up. But and that translated to me now. Like there's this channel on YouTube, Biographics, that's history lessons throughout the whole channel, every episode, and I kind of like just listening to that. So.
Okay, so you really educate yourself.
Well, I mean, I like what I like, so I wouldn't say I'll go out my way to not educate myself on stuff I don't like, but I do like what I like. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's great. Okay, so last question here. Do you do a lot of reading?
Sometimes, yeah. So I go to my spells. Like I might finish a book in a year, but I go through my spells where I would read for 2 or 3 weeks straight, and then I won't pick that book up for another 2 months. So I wouldn't say I'm an avid reader. I do like here and there. So yeah.
Okay. What's a fun fact about you before we go?
And like I said earlier, I'm a comedian. Everybody know that's around me, like person to person. Like even in my counters, we go out. I'm always the one having people laughing. And I noticed that was a gift that I have just from people just telling me like, "You're funnier than I thought you were." Like just because people can be standoffish from the beginning because I don't know. I wear this certain face. I don't know what it is about how I look in public, but people say I didn't think you were as nice as what you are. So and I don't know. I just got to start smiling more, I guess. But yeah, I think I make people smile and laugh a lot.
I get that a lot too. People say I look very serious, and then when they get talking to me, like, "Oh, you're nice." So,
We got to be like that sometimes, I guess.
was there anything that you wanted to share?
Just I would say like take control of your gift. Whatever you're blessed, put here to do, try to use that blessing, and whatever you're blessed with, thank God for it. I just know that I don't want to say we're all running out of time, but we all don't have as much time as we think we do. Young people, they're dying every day. Old people as well. Tell your family you love them, and I tell mine. So yeah.
All right, Eddie. Well, I do want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule, joining me on a date with Ashley D. And yeah, you have a good evening. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I mean, you're welcome.
All right.